Get ready with me for a series of photo shoots this week. I unexpectedly got volunteered to model for 2 style shoots while I have a birthday shoot coming up as well. I have been doing laser for the past few months. I'm not allowed to wax my face, so we're gonna be shaving, but don't do this at home. I am a licensed professional, but I don't really focus on skincare. I'm a hairstylist, makeup artist, and a brow artist. I just know the importance of clear skin underneath makeup for it to be able to sit right. I do have a lot of hair underneath my chin. I have PCOS. So I'm going to be doing this first to go ahead and prep my face. But I want to talk about how I pulled out my wedding dress today for the styled shoot. And I wasn't sure if I was going to fit in it because it's been 3 years. And I thought I put on a ton of weight, but I guess not. It still literally fits like a glove, which I'm super happy about. What I didn't realize is the moment I was going to put the dress on, I was going to feel so emotional. Because the last time that I wore that dress, I was a completely different person. I have gone through so much personal development and learning to love myself and set boundaries with people in my life. And when I put that dress on, it took me back to the version that I was when I used to accept everyone's bullshit. A lot of people don't know this because I haven't really talked about it much unless you're my friend or you're in my life. I haven't really talked about this online, but my wedding time was absolute hell. I was going through so much shit, from having to unexpectedly pay for a 3-day wedding that my dad was supposed to pay for, to then going no contact with him because he left me stranded with paying for a 3-day wedding, me and my husband. We had just bought our first house, which would be, oh my god, that's so exciting, but we bought a fixer-upper 6 months before getting married, before having a 3-day wedding. I'm gonna repeat myself because it's so fucking crazy. We were just going through the movements of so many changes, living on our own for the first time, having all these expenses, having all these responsibilities of being homeowners, planning for a wedding. We've never done any of this stuff before, so it was just truly insane because we were going through so many life shifts. People started getting weird in our life. We lost a lot of friends. We had so much drama with our bridal party and even had to ask a few people to no longer be in our bridal party. It was a journey, to say the least. Now, for a little bit of context, my husband and I had been together for 5 years when we finally got engaged. Then we were engaged for 2 years. So the people in our life very well knew that the wedding was coming, and if anything, we were always being hounded to get married. When we got engaged, I remember telling my husband, hey, I really want to have a long engagement because I want to give people time to be able to prepare for the level of a wedding that we want to have. By the time that we asked our bridal party to be a part of our wedding, they had 1.5 years to prepare for said wedding. I also gave them multiple chances to be able to let us know if it was too much, because I'm well aware that sometimes life be lifing and you are not in a position in your life to be able to take on that kind of stress. I'm the one getting married. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. That's totally fine. One thing about me is I'm a very, very, very understanding person. So if one of my friends were like, hey, Aisha, I love you so much, so excited that you guys are going to get married, I'd love to be there to witness this, but unfortunately I'm not in a position of my life right now to be able to financially or emotionally be there for you as a bridesmaid, as a maid of honor, so on and so forth. Okay? Needless to say, there were a lot of opportunities for them to be able to get out if they wanted to, and I just want to preface this by saying that we're not going to get into the nitty-gritty details of how everything went, but basically they made our entire experience hell. Not just them, but along with family and other things that had happened, financial stress. I will say that at the end of the day, this really proved that me and my husband were supposed to be together, because it brought us so close together because we had literally no one else to rely on but each other. At a certain point of our wedding planning process, it was a little too late for me to continue to keep making changes, as in tell people that they can't be part of the wedding party anymore, or continue to just bring up how shitty people were acting during our wedding. So at a certain point, it was just one of those things where we had to just take it for what it was. There's nothing that we could have done about it. That sucked in its own, because as we're entering this new era and this new season of our life, we couldn't even really be honest with the people that we love the most and let them know that they were really hurting us. When we did try, it always turned back on us. We're expecting or asking for too much. Mind you, my husband and I, we got married when we were I was 25 and he was 27. So we're still kind of young. We're still trying to figure this out. It's a lot of changes happening for us. There was obviously this feeling of self-reflection. Are we asking for too much? But then we had to remember, no, bitch. We gave these people multiple chances, multiple opportunities. It quite literally begged us to be a part of this experience because, of course, it's so fucking cool to be a part of a 3-day wedding. It was a very beautiful experience to be a part of. At the end of the day, we lost the plot, babes. My husband and I, we're just gonna thug it out at this point. We're not gonna keep hounding people and begging them to treat us a certain way or love us or show up for us in a way that's pretty fucking obvious that you guys should be showing up for us. So we kind of just let a lot of shit slide, which really fucking sucked. Because this one time in my life, when I should be allowed to be the most selfish version of myself, I wasn't even really allowed to be that version because I had to keep biting my tongue because I didn't want to keep creating more drama, more problems, more stress. So when I put on that dress, I think what was so emotional for me was the fact that the version of the woman that I was when I first wore that dress had to be so diluted. She had to be so easy to digest. She had to not be confrontational, to keep the peace. I have been such a people pleaser my entire life. The ironic part is people were never pleased. As I've gone on my healing journey, my husband as well, we've learned that we're not the problem. We really like to take accountability and grow as people because no one in this world comes out the womb perfect. You see, the thing about true growth and working on yourself is that you shouldn't have to convince other people that you're doing that. It should just be obvious in your actions and the person that you are and the person that you become. When my husband and I started doing the inner work, realizing that these people were just taking advantage of the diluted versions of us that would accept anything and everything, we started pulling away. We wouldn't reach out first. We wouldn't invite first. We would just reciprocate the exact same energy that was given to us. Suddenly we became the bad guys. It really takes a lot of self-trust and awareness to know that you are not the problem, because other people will make you feel like you are the problem, because that's the easier way to go about things. It's easier to point the finger at the other person and be like, you're the problem, you're the reason why. But the reality of the matter is all we have done for the past 3 years since we got married is continue to work on ourselves, on our marriage, on our businesses, and everything in our life has grown. It's really beautiful to see our growth, but I will say that the journey that we went through was not for the weak. It was not easy at all. There were lots of late nights crying, lots of money being spent on therapy, lots of lonely moments, just feeling like, are we the problem? Are we doing the right thing? Just having to point up the mirror to ourselves. And in certain situations, we were the problem. I'm not even gonna sit here and flex. We were the problem, but we made the necessary changes in order to be better people. When I put on that dress today, it took me back to old version of Aisha that took everyone's bullshit. I think that that's what brought back so many emotions for me, and I didn't even really know what the emotions were until I kind of sat with them. Why are we feeling this way? What are we feeling? What are the feelings that are coming up? And the ironic thing is I wouldn't have even known how to navigate those emotions if I hadn't done the work that I had done. If I hadn't had the support that I had, and I hadn't learned the tools that I have to be a person that is curious about the emotions that come up instead of brushing them under the rug again, moving on with my day. I could have easily been like, I'm busy, I have all this shit going on, and I don't have time for feelings, because that is a very valid response. Now that I'm in a space as well where I coach other women, I come across a lot of that. I don't have time to feel feelings, Aisha. Totally a valid response, but let me tell you one thing, the feelings never go away. They're just suppressed until something else makes them come to the surface, and you're gonna have to deal with them one way or another. I am just really proud of myself today for being able to have the audacity to just be curious about what I was feeling, why I was feeling that way, and then validate myself that I'm totally valid in feeling the way that I do, because that experience was really tough to go through. We don't talk about it enough, honestly, because we don't want to bash people that were part of that time or bring up the past. Like, it is what it is. It happened. Does it suck? Yes. Did it sour our experience? Yes. What was supposed to be one of the most important, beautiful weekends of our lives was really tarnished by a lot of people just being fucking selfish. The reality of that situation is, as much as it sucks, nothing's gonna change that. We have to be able to make peace with it and just take it as a learning lesson into being better people. Today, I hold space for that version of Aisha. the version that didn't have anyone but her husband in her corner, the version that felt like she had to stay quiet about so much shit and not be able to communicate the things that were bothering her, for the version that felt like she maybe wasn't worthy enough and those were the only friends that she was worthy of having, which is so not true because you have amazing people in your life right now. Also hold a little space for the fact that she was really fucking sad that she believed her father would be a different person for once and show up for her for one of the most important weekends of her life, and he didn't. That's okay as well, because we can't control that. But what we can control is honoring her. When I wear that dress today for this styled shoot, we are going to honor her and celebrate her. This is the final look. I'm gonna comb these out later.